So the illustrious Matt Gaetz, who was in the U.S. House of Representatives, had to resign because of this ethics report. So I've heard it's a ruse that Trump actually appointed him for Attorney General, so it gave him an excuse to resign so the ethics report doesn't come out, but I don't know if that's true. Then he got on Cameo, and now he just announced his new show on OAN.
I could not be more excited to join the One America News family. The best reporting, the best analysis, and the most in-depth coverage of the Trump administration is going to come from our team. I've got the sources, I've got the insights, and there is such a spirit of optimism to unlock the opportunity of America. There's no place that's going to cover it better than One America News.
Here's what my question is to you. My assumption is that OAN viewers are overwhelmingly fundamentalist evangelical Christians because that sect of the population votes for Trump in droves. So you've got a guy that has been accused and investigated by Congress to have sex trafficked underage girls while snorting ED medicine and chasing it with Red Bull and showing those pictures around in Congress. So I'm just like, is there any kind of irony there that people are missing, or is this exactly what you would expect from that sect of the population?
This is exactly what I expect from that sect of the population. They are never outraged when one of their own pastors or any sort, when you get to the far right Catholics, the whole priest scandal, they're never outraged by any of that, ever. But if it's Hunter Biden, it's pearl clutching big time. So when it comes to Matt Gaetz, this guy is a sexual predator. This guy is all of the things that they rail against constantly. They have been consumed with Hunter Biden for 6 years, ever since that laptop went to the shop to be repaired. They've been consumed with it. The call is coming from within the House. If the rumor is true that Trump did this as a favor to help Matt Gaetz get out of Congress or whatever, I mean, this is a man who does not take anything regarding this position seriously. If that's true, that is a gift to all of our adversaries. It is the decline of our country. There's no integrity in the executive branch at all. They're all flea bags. Mar-a-Lago is a roach motel. This is the bottom feeder. This is the end of the road. This is so unbelievable. But I have always found the most religious people have no problem excusing anybody within their ilk whatsoever. It's like, oh, they found Jesus, we're good. But I mean, if you look at any local news, like my mom sent us that article yesterday, some local evangelical preacher here in Oklahoma City, child porn, lewd acts with a minor. It's ubiquitous. It's all over the place. They don't care, yet they claim they care so much about kids.
It's the moral high ground hypocrisy that is unmatched from that sect of the population, and them anointing Matt Gaetz to his own show because he's optimistic and he's going to give true and factual reporting. I'm just like, spare me.
I mean, if people sit around and believe that crap, I don't know that they can be helped. And I mean that sincerely. If you've even watched one of Donald Trump's speeches without it being sane-washed, and you think, yes, these are the people that I want to be in charge of the country and that I want to make decisions on my behalf, I don't know that that sect of the population can be helped. And I mean that sincerely, because so many people that we know in this state that are uber religious are uber racist, uber homophobic, have no problem valuing profit over personal over human beings. And they have no problem thinking that somebody is a terrible person simply because they don't go to church, which I don't. Meanwhile, all of the people that I do know go to church, I would not trust as far as I can throw them. The louder the Christian, the bigger the hypocrite, the further the moral duplicity is. I think it's all a performative veneer to hide just how ugly and evil and sick they are on the inside. Furthermore, I think evangelical Christianity is nothing short of a multi-level marketing scheme. That's all it is. All they want to do is recruit people, bring them into the church so they can build more churches. And then you've got a church like Life Church here in Oklahoma City that has $500 million sitting in a bank account somewhere. And that church is nothing short of a multi-level marketing scheme where all of the members think they're so enlightened, yet they think the earth is 5,000 to 6,000 years old. And I don't have tolerance for this. I cannot engage with this. This is insanity. It's utter insanity. And all of the Matt Gaetz stuff is moral depravity at its height.
Absolutely. And I do think the one thing we can credit Trump and his election and his followers for is exposing the hypocrisy going on in these churches. I mean, he has exposed it. There is no moral high ground. They're all completely full of shit if they're backing him and then saying, oh, we believe in family values. I mean, it's too much. I can't take it. Speaking of family values, this one I'm really excited about. So, as you know, Donald Trump Jr. and Kimberly Guilfoyle have been engaged forever. There have been rumors that there was a rift between them. And a few months before the election, we saw pictures of him in a very cozy lunch situation with another female. So, interestingly enough, you have a picture of Don Jr. and this same socialite that's a big MAGA supporter holding hands as they're walking down the street. And right there after, the announcement has been made that Kimberly Guilfoyle will serve the United States of America as ambassador to Greece. So you know what that tells me? Daddy broke up with Kimberly for Donald Trump Jr. And I don't know if it's because he didn't have the balls or they just wanted to create a distraction, but I just found that so juicy.
Pumps, nobody wants to think about debt. And then after the holidays, debt grows more because we all tend to put things on our credit card. It can be paralyzing and overwhelming. That's why I think PDS debt is so incredibly helpful to help people in debt navigate a way to get out of it.
What is so great about PDS debt is if you're just paying the minimum payment, your balance is never going to go down. And they help you actually relieve your actual debt.
PDS has solutions for you. Everyone with $10,000 or more in eligible debt qualifies, and there is no minimum credit score required. Bad and fair credit are accepted. Last year, half of American consumers took on debt to pay for the holidays. That's why we're helpful to help you start planning today. Get a free debt analysis right now at pdsdebt.com/IHIP. It only takes 30 seconds. That's pdsdebt.com/IHIP. pdsdebt.com/IHIP. Yeah, I am not enamored by the dysfunction of the Trump family. I've just seen it. It's just Don Jr. is screwing somebody new, and he's a father of 5. You never see him with his kids. And I just don't care. I don't care about Don Jr. I don't care about Kimberly. I feel sorry for the country of Greece. I'm more concerned about all of the billionaires that are being placed in this discussion of expanding United States territory, and Elon Musk having Donald Trump on a leash and walking him around everywhere after he paid $250 million. And I'm more concerned about the exploitation that is going to happen when all of the deregulation occurs and all of the human suffering that's going to impact from that. Don Jr. is clearly a cokehead. That's my opinion. And Kimberly Guilfoyle, however you pronounce her name, I mean, these people are nuts. These people are insane. These people are not stable. And you have a high concentration of people that are sharing a psychotic episode together. all
It's true, though.
all convened down at the Roach Motel, the flea bag parasitic place called Mar-a-Lago.
Interesting you bring up about the billionaires. Did you see Trump's Truth Social that if you invest $1 billion in the U.S. economy, he's happy to grant you regulation-free business? Did you see that?
I saw it, and what is this begging on Twitter? I mean, this is just it's so ridiculous. It's so ridiculous because on the one hand, Republicans will say, we're America first and we don't want, we want to get the Chinese out of our economy and yak. Meanwhile, if you look at I think it's Saudi Arabia, I think I'm getting this right, owns all of the aquifers under the desert in Arizona and controls the water supply. I might be wrong on that, I'm sure, but he'll correct me in the comment section. But this is just further jeopardizing world stability, national security. You can't have a president of the United States tweet stuff like that. It just shows how disqualified and what a moron he is, on top of all of the other large body of evidence that we have that this man is incompetent, clearly in the late stages of life, has to be walked on a leash everywhere he goes by Elon Musk, who, by the way, likes to psycho tweet 300 times in a 24-hour period. These people are not stable emotionally or psychologically. And they're like, oh, this is fun. This is like a board game to them.
Right.
It's like they're playing some game and they think it's so fun that they're doing all of these things. The weight and the gravity of this office and the responsibility is completely lost on them. And that is terrifying.
It's absolutely terrifying. One other thing I just wanted to mention was, I guess each House party has a retreat right after they're sworn in January. And normally the Republicans go somewhere in West Virginia. Guess where the House Republicans are going this year, so they can probably overpay for rooms, get screwed on meals, and the government is going to pay directly into the pocket of Donald Trump.
Some Trump property.
Yeah. Doral, which I didn't realize was just the dump truck of all country clubs in Florida, particularly Miami. It's not close to the water. It's in the hottest part. It's moldy or something, I read. I don't know, but I'm just is the corruption and the grifting, will it ever end?
No, it's going to be accelerated. It's going to be accelerated because this is what's so terrible about Trump 2.0. He was completely ill-prepared, did not think he would win in Trump 1.0, and found all of the bureaucracy and all of the regulations and the guardrails surrounding him to be incredibly frustrating. So he is now surrounded by even more morally bankrupt people. And of course, he's going to completely profit off of this presidency more than he did 1.0, more than Jared Kushner did. And these are flea bags. These are parasites that are going to suck off of the masses for their own personal gain with 100% support from the religious right. And you're going to have all of these evil fuckers at the top of this, surrounded by all of these Christian nationalists and all of these just money-hungry oligarchs, plus all these Russians. It's going to be crazy. I mean, once he's inaugurated and this shit show starts, it's going to be very, very difficult to watch.
No, I completely agree. It is. I'm kind of terrified a little bit about what he's going to do.
I think everybody is. I mean, the problem is the people that are the most loyal to him, that voted for him 3 times, they are so trapped into a right-wing media echo chamber. They will never believe that anything that he did or any policy that he did harmed them, ever. They will never, ever, ever believe it, because one of their core principles, which tells you how immature this sect of the population is to own the libs. That's
right.
one of their number one goals, is to own the libs. That's how just emotionally immature this side of the population is.
Yeah, it's really sad. Not very smart either. Just throw that out there.
I agree. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow.